Ah,
Scared of the unknown, because in its mystery lies greatness. Some wait, hoping for their dreams to
Okay.
come true.
You said
to
In
come
this our
true.
dreams town, they keep searching for answers. We question the
Oh,
answers
sorry.
and
Business
discover
Express.
new possibilities. Why? Because we
Can we ever
dare
get
to
monthly
choose
rent in
different.
Lagos, in
What keeps
Nigeria?
us?
Can we
What
ever get
choose
monthly
fur?
rents,
Ask your
or can we
bank
ever
or
pay monthly
third party
rents
care.
in Nigeria?
Fur, the one way to make payments. Business Express.
all
Brought
right.
to you by InterSwitch. Transaction solutions you can depend on.
Why did I put this shady shady thing?
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Shay
Who
Shay,
does
and
this?
yes, you
I
are
don't
listening
know.
to Smooth 98.
With critical focus on the Nigerian economy, we see
So
the
2 minutes.
bigger picture.
I'm ending at 7:05.
No, come and
I
end
am.
at seven
I'm ending at
five.
7:05.
Mike's up. She is like,
Ayo, can we start? Can we get the show on the road? Okay, all right. Let's do this. Lagos, good morning. Business Express, Smooth 98.1 FM. I am Rotus. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Smooth 98.1 FM. It is Business Express. Please send your messages 0809 444 0981. We are streaming live on YouTube, youtube.com/Smooth 98.1 FM. Follow us on Twitter at Smooth 91 FM. And follow me at Rotan Quotes, ROTANKWOT. Let's jump right in. Folks, when are we going to get back to monthly rents? We need to do something here. Ran into a friend over the weekend. It's January. I'm like, hey, dude, how's it going? What's the outlook for the year? And he's avoiding his landlord. True story. I don't laugh. It's true that you're laughing, eh? Because it's not funny. Avoiding his landlord, right? Because he has to come up with something million naira for his annual rent, which is due. This is not realistic. Look, we have to either talk to landlords or get the government involved. That's the state governments, right? Because we're really dealing with Lagos here, to have rent paid on a monthly basis. Now there are some entities out there. I've actually seen a few of them that are actually trying to set up schemes where folks, Lagosians, can pay for rent on a monthly basis. The income is just not there, Lagos and beyond. It's just not there. Like I was at a conference, it was a real estate conference last week, where one of the attendants was like, I think they quoted some reports. I think it came from FTC. Shout out to Mr. Bismarck. And I think it came from Financial Derivatives Corporation, where they're saying that less than 3 million Nigerians, or less than 5 million Nigerians make 3 million naira per year. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know how this annual rent scheme can work. I don't know. Anyway, that's just something. It struck me, the conversation we had over the weekend, and we really do need to look at this. And it's not just about talking about this on radio. We need to engage. I think this is the year of engagement. We need to engage and say, hey, look, let us negotiate, right? You put down a security deposit and we can maybe work out 6 months out of the year, or the first 3 months. Let it be quarterly. The annual thing, I don't know if it can work, because it's a strain on resources. We all know what's been going on with regards to what we have to pay for this year. Should we talk about power? Let me see this message here from Echo. With regards to a power outage in certain parts of Lekki. Where is that message? If you are living in which areas? Okay, let me read this here. This is from Echo Electricity Distribution Company. Dear customer, the power outage being experienced is due to multiple faults detected on our lines. Our team is working to rectify these. Areas affected are parts of Aja, University View Estates, Shangotedo, Awoyaya, Lakowe, Bojije, and the Desa community. Please bear with us. So if you live there, I live in one of those areas. We haven't had power since, I think since Friday. Yep. So they're working on it. If you live in those areas, that's what's going on. And of course, we still don't have, not all of us have prepaid meters. There's still a liquidity issue with regards to the power sector. There was a headline in The Guardian, I think it was on Saturday, where The Guardian was saying that we're still going to face issues with power when it comes to 2020. Things still haven't been sorted out. You know what we need, Lagos and beyond? You know what we need? We need one figure. We just need one line. We need someone to say, hey, look, you know what? The power issue in Nigeria will be solved with 1.5 trillion naira or 2 trillion. Then we know where we're working towards. Because until the prepaid meters and other things come into play, we're still going to be facing issues. So I'm sorry, if you live in those areas, that's what's going on. Okoro sends in a message. My rent is due this January, and my landlord sent me a letter of a 10% increase notice the same month. Look at that. You see, these are the real things that we need to be discussing on this show. This is reality. Okoro, thank you for that message. His rent is due in January. He's got to pay the entire year, the whole year. And his landlord sends him a message saying that it is increasing by 10%. Just like that. How do we cope? How do we cope? Ayo, do we go rob people? What do we do? Do we sell our cars? Do we find second and third jobs? You know, oh yeah, thumbs up. I mean, how do we do this? How do we do this? This man, his rent is due and is giving him a 10% increase already. Okoro, best of luck to you. I don't know how you're gonna do it, my brother. But thank you for sending in that message and sharing what's going on in the streets. All right, sharing what's going on in the streets. Okay, this is from was it Andy Rotus Biko. If one can't afford ₦1 million for rent, Shango is there. People go for what they can't sustain. Good morning, Andy. If rent was paid monthly, we'd be able to afford more of these areas. Think about it. If your rent was paid on a monthly basis, we would be able to afford what is let's see now, $1 million divided by 83K. So ₦1 million rent, a 1 million naira property. If you divide that by 12, that's 83,000 per month. I think that's more palatable than telling somebody to bring the entire 1 million upfront, or even 2 million, because some of these places it's 2 months. But I get your point, Andy. We need to cut our costs according to our size. But based on where everybody works, where the business districts are, it's easier to live closer. And then, of course, you know, if you live closer to a particular business district, then of course demand for that area, the residential areas around the district will increase, and then, you know, rent goes up. But it is what it is. We're keeping it real on Business Express this morning. Mr. Oluwatade is the most consistent. Pastor Oluwatade Samuel. Every morning he's talking about the issues in Nigeria. I've never seen anybody as consistent as you're laughing, Ayo. Anyway, Pastor Oluwatade, you're one of the people we need to push the movement here with the kind of change we need in this country. Right? He keeps sending the same message, lamenting the issues in Nigeria. Thank you for your message. Dakbo. Hello, Rotus. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Dakbo. On the monthly rent issue, we have trust issues between tenants and landlords. The system can't recoup easily from defaulting tenants. Dakbo, thank you for that message, right? And that is a viable issue that landlords have raised. And that is that the legal system, when it comes to defaulting tenants, they are not able to recoup their money back. They got to go, they're tied up in court and so on and so forth. I mean, yes, it's a valid concern, but Dakpo, if you take the number of defaulting, I don't have the stats, so I don't have the stats. Let me just say that right now. But if you were to take the number of defaulting tenants versus the number of Lagosians, Nigerians who are finding it hard to pay annual rent, I think we hear more cases of people like you and I who are struggling to pay annual rent. I think there's more cases. Of course, I don't know that many landlords. I don't know how many cases are tied in court. I really shouldn't step out and say that, but you know, this can be resolved. I mean, if I even think about this, the people that are defaulting on their rent are defaulting on annual payments. So if you actually made the rent monthly, right? So if you have a case now where there's a landlord fighting with somebody who owes them =1 million for rent, if that rent was broken down into 12 months and they were paying 80-something thousand, well, that's easier for them to pay. So maybe that approach, should be taken. All right, let's see now. Tapo, thank you for that message. Sheon says, hi, Rotus. I believe your friend can try to save up monthly instead of waiting for the landlord or the government to start programs again for rent management. He knew all year he was going to pay the rent. True. Sheon, look, textbook solution. Yeah, of course he can save. But then there's all kinds of things going on. I just fixed my car. I don't want to tell you how much I spent on my car, which is due to Lagos roads destroying underneath my car over the weekend, right? If I don't know if you got children, you have school fees are also due as well. Emergencies pop up, all these things pop up. Again, you are reducing the burden on people by breaking down month into rent into monthly payments. You know, I lived in the States for 12 years. I never paid rent annually. My rent was monthly. Other people that live in other I think in Kenya they pay their month rent. They pay their pay their month rently. Pay their rent monthly. Let's see here. What else we had? Yinka says, Rotus, I think government needs to get involved in this rent thing. As in, rent should be pegged at a certain amount. Imagine someone paying 600K a year in Ketu. That's like 50K a month. Now, how about people that earn 200,000 a month in Lagos at the moment? That leaves you with 150K. You see, this is what I was just saying. Yinka is illustrating this now. That leaves you with 150K transport. You take out 30K now, talk of food for savings. One will never survive in this country. That's the real discussion. And there you go. There you go. I mean, it's easy to say they should save, but as Yinka has spelled out there, these things, it's hard. It's hard. Ayodeji. Okay, well, Ayodeji is towing the same line. Hi, this guy had a whole year to prepare to pay. I beg Rotus, why complain? Even if it's monthly, people will still complain. Ayodeji, but again, you know, I understand what you're saying. But 83K per month versus 1 million a year. I understand what you're saying. If you don't save, you don't save. You probably fall into those problems. But I really do think that a lot of Lagosians would appreciate paying rent on a monthly basis. Darlington, good morning. My rent too is due, and my landlady has been calling me like she works with one of the telcos, and it's yearly. Okay, we need to have this conversation. Biko Darlington from Darlington, thank you. Every message Darlington has sent recently has been about devaluation happening, so it's good to see Darlington sending us something about something else. Oluziel. That's a nice early morning rant. The monthly rent issue can only be resolved with a good landlord-tenant relationship, good negotiation, and fund availability for the lucky few. Oluziel, thank you for that, Oluziel. Let's see, who else do we have here? Nenji from Bagada. Morning, I haven't had light since the first week of October. What? Because NEPAP says people are owing bills and took the transformer away. My goodness. Wow. Mind you, I use prepaid pay as you go and have been punished. I stay in Bagada. That is, she hasn't had power since October. Good gracious. Nengi, I'm really sorry about that. But you see, and I have to be careful with my words here. Now, look, let me just come out and say this. I don't even know how to even approach this now. So I'm really sorry for what happened here. But the thing is that with what's been suggested by folks in the power sector, they've been saying that, look, the only way that we can make people who are not paying for their prepaid is to punish an entire estate, which will now force Nenji and her other neighbors who have been paying prepaid to go after their neighbors who haven't. It's a bad situation, though. I haven't had light since Friday. I'm complaining. Look at somebody who hasn't had light since October. Nenji, I'm really sorry, but we're talking about rent. See another issue. We have so many economic issues to face in this country. And then I'm really sorry. That is horrible. Think of how much she's paying in fuel since October. You see that? For everybody who is saying, let's use that as an example now. So she hasn't had light since October. Think of how much she pays on fuel on a weekly or daily basis since October of last year. And then now she also has to pay her rent and has to pay other things. These are the things that creep up, that eat away at your disposable income and put Nigerians in a bind. Henry, I think the question on 10% increase was that they only had a month's notice of increased rent. Is that legal? Does it not have to be 6 months notice if the rent is annual? Henry, I have to check on that. I'm not really too conversant on the real estate laws, but I believe that there does have to be some kind of notice. I don't know about how long the notice is supposed to be. This is from Godfrey. If my landlord gives me such a short notice, I will ask him for 3 months notice and I will leave. See, so Godfrey is towing the same line. There needs to be more notice given when there's an increase in rent. Prince, I disagree with you on monthly repayment of rent. Using colleagues and my friends as an example, many people stay where it's beyond their means. Why should people collect loans to pay rent? There's a principle that says rent should not be more than 30% of one's annual income. Good point, Prince. Now, on the part of getting loans, I don't think you should get loans to pay rent. I don't think you should get loans to buy shares of stock. I don't think you should get loans to pay for a wedding. But again, when you think about where people live, as far as where people work and the different business districts, right? VIs and so on and so forth, and your Lagos Islands and so on, folks try to live as close as possible to where they work because it's easier, right? And so you have to factor that. You have to factor that in. So when you say why should people live where they can't afford, again, I think it's mostly proximity to work or proximity to a child's school. But Prince, your point is well noted. All right, who do we have here? Femi says, good morning. Rent will go up if prices are set, if rent is paid monthly. Okay, that's another point. Yeah, it might go up, but then no one's mentioned government. What does the state government come in to try to keep a cap on these things, right? State government, we have a commissioner for economic planning and so on and so forth, and someone has to do with real and housing. We have that here. El Como, he says, on rent being paid monthly, Ajo or Esusu is the perfect solution for rent payment, and it's not only in Lagos, it is done in several other states as well. Now, this, you bring up a good point. I've been hammering on this Ajo Esusu issue. I disagree, but El Como, I appreciate your message. You know why? Look, here's why my issue with Ajo and Esusu, yeah? So assuming you have 12 people together, right? And these 12 people are all contributing monthly to the Ajo and Esusu. It only favors people at the beginning. So maybe the first 2 or 3 people. You have to think about the person, the 10th or 11th or the 12th person who could have taken that money and put in an interest-bearing account and would have been earning interest for the 11 months or 10 months or 10 or 11 months that they have to wait for their own payments to arrive for the Ajo Esusu. Now, if you're setting up Ajo Esusu, I'm using interest as an example of why I don't support it. But if you're using it for rent, then that's valid. I can give you that point, El Como. So thank you for that. Thank you for that message. But generally, for earning interest and so on, not really in favor of Ajo Esusu, but people still do it. Orise says it really needs to be looked into by the government. You have landlords asking for 1-year payment alongside 20% for agreements and agency fees for a new apartment. But your friend can use PiggyVest to lock down savings. So PiggyVest, Cowrywise, all these other digital banking schemes are there to help you save. Ayo is giving me air traffic control signal saying I have only 3 minutes. We've used the entire segment for rent, and there's like, oh, now I have 2 minutes. Okay, thank you. Imo from Ikeja. What can we do? For now, we can do something about it, which is ourselves, as we've always done with security power and other things, which is that we depend on ourselves. What I do is pay some money monthly into a money market fund that I use. He's saying he uses AXA. It works for me, plus it comes with interest. So people are giving solutions. Work towards your annual rent by putting money away. Someone's mentioned PiggyVest, somebody's mentioned a money market fund with AXA. There are different, somebody has mentioned Ajo and Esusu. There are different solutions here that are being provided in order for you to work towards paying your rent annually. So many messages. I love the interaction on this show. Marutsi, morning Rotus and Ayods. Crazy ideas, but here you go. A credit bureau-esque system should be developed, which will serve as a repository and reference tool for tenants' records in properties they have rented in the past. Their delinquency rates will be included, etc. Landlords can decide immediately whether or not they want to take them in. This will aid renting per month. That's a good issue. The Vice President Osibanjo, he had this movable assets registry law that he passed like a year or 2 ago. Well, that's for collateral, but for record keeping, we've got credit bureaus that are there that are supposed to be aiding in this with regards to this idea. But very, very good idea, Maritzi. Thank you for that. It's not so crazy. Aya is giving me one minute to go. OG from Surulere. Can people rent houses they can conveniently pay? OG, you are still in the same situation. You're still looking at the same cost. You can, but you're still looking at the same cost. Dami says, I know many tenants. My parents have had to forget over 6 months rent. They end up begging the tenant to just pack up and go. That one is to look. So again, thank you for that, Dami. We cannot forget the other side of this equation, which is the landlord. I'm going to try and get a landlord on this show to talk to them, because the landlords are also facing these issues. They're facing people who are delinquent and not paying. Oh my goodness. Olufemi, Modupe, Shegun, Bumi, Kenneth. I'm so sorry. Nia. Maybe we'll continue this tomorrow. I appreciate the interaction. You guys are our guests, the most awesome guests we can have on the show. Thank you so much for your thoughts. We will probably continue with this tomorrow and get into some other stories. Thanks for listening to Business Express Smooth 98.1. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day. I know, right?